Hi folks, today's episode of From Amateur to Expert is another on-the-fly idea. And I'd like to talk to you about the notion of being a purist as a top performer, an artist, or an expert. And I think that if you take your career, the thing that you do, very seriously, the chances are highly likely that you will fall afoul of this idea. And I know that I used to, and I changed my mind on this one. So I would hope to disavow you of the notion that there is a chasm, a distinction between being a top performing expert or an artist or a practitioner and being involved in the sales and marketing side of things. I believe now that the top practitioners in all fields are able to do both, and they have broadened their capacity, their total abilities. They've added new skill sets. This is not a compromise to the original thing. It is an additional skill set. I received some very positive feedback once from Penguin when they said, it's very pleasant for us to work with you. You make our jobs easier because unlike a lot of authors, you are not reticent to be seen on TV. You are not shy about interviews. In fact, you aggressively chase them. I'm going to read that as a compliment and not as an underhanded insult. But it's absolutely true. I am extremely aggressive in my own marketing. And it's interesting to me to note that they think a lot of competing authors are not. Apparently, that's not normal. Now, another thing that happened to me the other day, I was preparing for a conference and the convener of the convention had asked for about 150 copies of one of my books. In fact, it was this one. It was They're Your Rules, Break Them, which is about the interaction of leadership, culture, and innovation. And what happened to me then, I tried to place an order for 150 copies of the book and discovered that in the background, the folks who stock the books for Penguin, they had completely run out. They didn't have any left. So I called my local bookstore just hoping to get a handful. I had some at home. Perhaps I could add a few more from other stores. And the lady on the other side said, "That's strange. We sold out a year ago and we haven't restocked." And she stared at her screen, I could hear her typing, and she said, "That makes no sense." I then put in calls to about 3 or 4 other bookstores in the area and got the same response. The book had come out, it's now about 2.5 years old. The book came out, sold out, did really well, and for some strange reason was never restocked. Now that's an anomaly. So I gave that feedback to the people at Penguin, and I said, can we figure out what's going on here? And they themselves were stumped by it. It seemed to be some kind of a technical glitch on the system, and nobody had even been aware of it. Now, if I were not so deeply involved in the sales process of my books, here's what would have happened. After a couple of years, they would have looked at their numbers and said, well, it sold well initially, but then it pretty much tanked, and they would cancel the print runs of the book. They wouldn't have even been aware that something mechanically had gone wrong. The books were simply not being restocked. So by simply being involved in the sales process, by being deeply ingrained in the whole process, I was able to spot a small foible and get the books restocked across the nation. They're now in bookstores all over the show again. And it just dawns on me that when the creative, artistic performer, the artist, is not involved in the sales side of things, the people who are not as deeply invested as you are, and so they might not spot these anomalies. An anomaly like that one will not show up on their spreadsheets. It will just look like a lack of sales. That hurts you as an expert. So, I have a dual form question for you today. One, it's a psychological one. Are you a purist who refuses to get involved in sales? I hope that you will change your mind on that one. You're adding skill sets, not compromising the original. And 2, how deeply are you involved in the marketing, the sales, the PR process today? I believe that for most experts, that's 80% of what we do. The rest is the talent that you bring to it. But if nobody knows about that talent, you can't position yourself as a top-level expert. Part of that positioning is the effectiveness of your sales and marketing.